perception of the soul. It travels through the wind, soul's perception of the soul for the mind, that you can see this intertwined, for this is all. Vulnerable enough for the poet to be the mind for the faint of heart. Your words just whisper in the night for the string of this inhibition, for the finding the place of this imperfect, for the striving and wants to reveal, for all I know, feel, for this rawness exposed, the tear freely flow, for the rhythm of the line, for the break of the unnerved, for the tenderness and strength of just the vulgar vulnerabilities, for this not to be shared. Exposed into the metaphor, for the lyrical that made possible enough of the words be damaged and poetic as a soul. Talking, time bomb. For the festival that you gaze is sparkling for the day, for the moon is blinded by the blooming of colors, and you can find this. Have you seen the bright stars just shine tonight? For this is how the wide smile to this world. As you listen to what other people say, for this to care about you, for the words dare to listen to. I seen you. It's a profound statement. Think that I care for this to rather but not to reign. Sometimes I hang with the ghosts, this will walk under the falling. Grief, good grief, this wave consistently flows. For the harder that you fight it, the stronger it grows. You ask me, but you don't want to need to know, for this to comply with yourself with this fine concept. This is on my own a love letter to Jesus, for this to find the love that you always show me that's great enough for the undeserving that I do. Rather temptation to wander with my thought, but still showing up for your glory, for the sinner that I am, for you always lighten up my path, for this to act as shield to protect me from everything. And I owe you everything. You are everything. When I look inside, the dead of the night with the wiping of my eyes, of wishing the sun was not too late. Do rise this fine good. Innate complication for the longest side, for the ceasing of my dream life, for this drilled and filling up my mind for the fitting of hopes. Now I can't fade the fate, for this to find the faith, to fate for falling, for the drop, for this the face rolling, for the never, to sit in the cliff and never to find the infinity, for the dust falling into the face, that you can find the sense of the serenity. The time slide being solitude. Frightened to the other for the calming and the hate. To heal me down for the unbroken of the feeling of the intense, and yet for the warm. Be somewhere high for this watching sky, for the web, for the feel closeness of the sun. Being soulless is nice, but you can find the dead of the night for the never to find alive. I'm in this number for the doubt warning, for the mayhem that you can find a nightmare. Just darkness is trapped up to the way you escape. This please help. Confused to see fake people. And I can't stand it. Sit the pond of an ode to love, the beauty and the darkness, and done so much wrong for the never the one that did outright. Touch the love, and you're stronger than enough of the walls of the madhouse. Just let hell rain, just let anyone get in my way. Your hands on mine, this fit perfectly connected like a puzzle piece. You'll be the review for wanting to share the simplicity for the complex moments without being misunderstood for once and forever. The institution for the feeling of a void for the lion is a fulfillment for your starvation of the soul. Let the night sky wish us, let the moment stay freeze for this, the moment that remains forever for us to love us. They'll be gone forever for leaking my face and seeking, but it's lost a smile for you don't find a contraction for what you read. Drowning in water on the bridge and drown for the love that was left anyways. Like a star kiss, this hush, this quiet. Empty were the words of the breathless and mouth scream. Heart questioned emotion wavering. The relation stood silent for the blood rolled. You, confrontation for the confused. Chaos of wrong paths for the right destination. Never to be for realization that you for the good farewell to the heart that even never with them you can find all too simple enough the privilege to speak there. It's hard not to tell that the love with which you had the heart but has spun enough. Bouncing around to and from, words and expressions spinning on a height. This or the way, the ounce. This is what determines determination for the self-awareness and self-reflection for the objection. This is ejected for the subject. Investment, what's meant to be the outcome, come to or come back to when you understanding. You left to and from one to become one person per light, per sight, per Sunday, per week, per trip, perpendicular for the perpetrating, perspectives, perhaps, pervasive, personal, personality and disorder for the disease, and your discipline for your discussion, disillusioned, perspectives that perspired enough to make it sweat for the preserve, the prescription for the healing that hurt the feelings. You hurt yourself again, and others, including the outcome, changed the behavior for the being so seasonal for the tasteful. Health, this is freeing yourself back to the peer of the menstrual cycle. Conclusion to illusion and allure your vision. Every for the best poop, your place to poke from. You find the poop. This is your heart attack for the bird consciousness, for the concurve, for the current. Corrected by the points to this is height, which has this meters of divine and miller. For the selfish ways of the hunger to see, for the ad, the selfish for the living and the sea, for the depleted, for the food for thought, for the caught to eat the healthy. Heal that heavy organic melancholy for the mouth to zoom in. Power for the punch, your power aid. It was not hurt, for the reality is you're vulnerable enough for the honesty for the majesty. Your temple of sin insinuating that everything for the food for thought, for the way to understand, for the it was only found in love, from apple, garden, olive. Applebee's, the pollinator, and the end name for the interpretation without the fulfilling the spirit for the mystical time lesson and time outs, this truth and the historical oracle to the history for the only diversion of nutrition, your alphabetical alpha O for omegas and omens. The ribbed caged beef, this created for the enrichment for the poor quality of the portion, for the symbolizing this is darker. You're having the heart for the vows of the brutal belly for the jelly to dying over your sanctuary for the this makes salam salat alone for this not alone for the offering for the benevolence for the non-violence of this we're not criminally activated your temple. A template for the eat from as Toba for the bestow the best tove in between meals. You have that righteousness and you find the illiterate for who were all fed up with the manipulations. Population control, lies I truly stand. Outside of the time, those won't watch the stop to tell the time. This is words to eat to digest your gesture for the just in case your heart burns, the world's biggest heart. It was played above, below, the bell for the foul, for the play, for the plagiarism, for the kingship, for the imperialism, for the personating your native, for the ego, the judge, Edo, J, OJ, OJ's, just a blooper for the tongue, play, rest behind the bars. This is the 369 institutionalization for the Zulu nationalities, for the converting the deity, for the contractions. It looked like an immaculate conception of reality, for the really to relocate it, for the real estate, for the just to be the gates of temple, for you, penal glands can't be penetrated, for the labor over to terroristically, for the invaded, for the jaded, just be to medicate. Dictations of the web, the inner endings of the series of gold. This is defending the galaxies and the folly fantasies for your impregnant vacancy. Be aired and vacancy, over fancy royalty for the salt. Currency for the dependency depends your ass just like a donkey for the disobedience sleep. The REM for the remedies of the re-maintaining over your suntan. This is up the dry bones. This is a delusion for your concluding. To be deterred, determined. For the ignorant in mind, determined. Sever rent too high, this drug show. That joint for the ligament, for dimension over your men, the dimension for the commencing over your fencing over the borders of the purity. Religion will relent, relying upon the other intelligence and the obesity for the obedience and this allegiance and alignment for the atonement. Monopolize that capital punishment. You find the poverty to poets sincere, the sight, the seeing, the blind. For this is the rhythm for the spirit. You can give me the forgiveness.
Tomorrow. I'm leaving here tomorrow. leaving here tomorrow. I'm leaving. Say what? Here tomorrow.
Go ahead, make my day. Misread, misled, just give it a rest when I book you. About deceiving and believing in the rocking your way with the hiding of the wind trails of your daily bread. It's what you will be led to be found, the standing of the shaky ground always. Someone else's fault, this is always me facing. For the tripping over your words like Young Tom was untied. Shoot what lace twisted you do not untie, undress, but what makes you bare naked and bone dry, wake you condone. Why no vowels is not a E-I-O-U. An apology for this, caught up in your manifesting with astrology, digesting your dichotomy. With a fraudulent love, it was given the negligence. This will be given back to your massage. Taper for the able to love back. A Cain and Abel, they never came back. This is a pain for the cable, for the tether, for the space. There's just no place, yo, no face in heaven with the fetch to watch. This is what you see, no. What the time it is at the quarter, for the something to the top, for the hour for the bottom of them. Probably behind and fronting on people for climbing on another, taking hikes. Dogging me out, big flipper shit, feeding me bull. This is what you call taking me out for dinner for the Dayton ball ties. Calendar for this is too many days a week. Sabotage the minutes, camouflaging him and blaming him, blending in with his what the blend flavor to savor your neglecting savior, repenting, repairing with your one on your own. This is no comparing comparables. This is the parables that entails that hearing is horrible to hard to hearing. A hardly staple for you and her was side the kick, and this is her with the head with the sail. That was the phony the cross pass. This is to a lover the crucifix her own brother. Never bother, always coward, always loved her, always hurt me, always allowed her to pay for it. Was never no easy work, no allowance. Is it doing the work and just saying a lot? Broken, I got the talk is cheaper. This is all rich in stock. Stack the rack that she copped, pin me down the ground new. Where she was praying for every rehab invention. This is a compliment, philosopher's stone, the hands you got or forgot, forgave. She forsake with the piece of snake and spake this time for the buddy that her words with sheep, counting sheep by herds. Fly away for the flocks of profiles. She took time for TikTok or the robberies in the parking lot for what's in store. Instead of giving the blowjobs, being wondrous as a whore. Horrible words that she knew not the definition to which witchcraft was the spell, the conviction convoluted, the convalescence, the conjuring, no snail, convalescent as your silence, and this is the hard to tell. Always judging. She's at the court of hearing what she was once to believing. The jury can't gas you like running out of gas and light. Stars, hypernovas, but more meteorite. Wrong. Your forfeit around the same words, the song humming. Which is the vibration with the residents and destroy bridges and crossing, wanting to all refuse. Used to giving, such a saint. Saints shooting down angels and demons and shooting down the angels with the materialistic mysteries. That's mystic or misery. Missing reward for defining a loss. On every pole for the city for the cold-hearted like a cold winter with no clothes. Areolas and no bra, no soul. All titties and all breasts, just another chicken, flaming vegetarian full of hormones with the having sex in the city. This is the show time. Or acronyms, HBO. The age is silent. But the bee is sweet as the honey. Hold me to be sweet as hurry. behind me like a beat wolf sinking. He said he getting closer to behinds. This is the drive that you dummy. Shit is dead. Just full of waste sitting in the tummy for this was the fact that she was older than a pyramid and the baby of a mummy sitting in her tummy. She was older than a pyramid and must be the ancient period of the blood of the moon, the blood on her hands, orbit one-sided and two-faced of the beginning of the second coming with the judgment.